In my experience working as a Brotherhood scribe, I had the fortune to interview the handful of wastelanders the Elder allowed inside. Through these people, I have learned of many things outside of my own sphere of interaction with the wasteland. Some things are helpful, others are hurtful, and every now and then I get a tale so strange I simply must archive it. This is one of those tales. The man I had the good fortune of speaking to had recently been captured by slavers in Pittsburgh, better known to the locals as the Pit. Most of your time is spent wandering around the scrapyard, fighting off trogs, and collecting silver ingots for the slavers. However, while exploring, you will come across a supply plant with a row of protectrons that can be activated to clear the surrounding area. After activating them, you can head inside the plant. While fighting trogs and wild men in its narrow corridors, you will pass a door that grabs your attention. It is surrounded by skeletons with boom marks scarring the walls around it. Upon closer inspection, it appears the deceased people were attempting to get inside the door, as bobby pins are scattered around the ground next to the door. Only after picking the lock and opening do you learn just what has been going on. The room itself is nothing more than a supply closet, with a makeshift desk set up in a corner, containing an active computer terminal, and the skeleton of the former plant foreman, Tom McMullin. Upon reading his terminal entries, the series of events that led to his and the workers outside the door's deaths begin to unfold. The plant that Tom worked at was slowly beginning the process of phasing out human workers with protectrons. Despite his best efforts to delay this, the management continued the process. Then, one day, they ordered all the workers to vacate the premise by 1 o'clock, as that's when the order of protectrons would arrive. Seeking to blame somebody for the matters, the workers targeted Tom. Fearing for his life, he locked himself in the utility closet as the workers pounded on the door, trying to get him. He begged them to leave, as he was aware that once the shipment of robots arrived, they would activate and clear out all non-authorized personnel from the building, with lethal force. Unfortunately, the workers were too blinded by anger to listen. Tom's final diary entry describes the horror that followed.
I begged them to leave before those damn robots got here. They laughed and said they'd take care of the robots. It's me they wanted. Then came the familiar rattle of a protectron. That got their attention. I soon heard laughter, cursing, and screaming down the hall. I opened the door and stepped outside. A couple of workers burst around the corner screaming for help. A red laser lashed out from down the hall and severed Tim's right arm in two. I panicked and ran back into the closet and shut the door. The men slammed into the door and begged me to open it. I didn't say a word, just sat, stunned, listening to their screams of agony as the robot finished them off one by one. Then, silence. I put my ear to the door and listened. I heard the clanking of protectron feet down the hall. I grabbed my pistol and backed away from the door. No way am I opening this door for anyone or anything. Whoever reads this, let it be known that I did everything in my power to keep everyone's job at that plant. And let this be an example of how not to replace humans with machines.
But that's not the worst part. Right after reading the final entry and exiting the terminal, you hear something that will most likely terrify you. The clanky metal steps of a protectron walking past the closet door. In any other situation, this wouldn't carry any weight. But after reading the story of Tom, its scare factor is increased tenfold.